Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just trying to spectate on LxrdLife. It appears he disappeared. We'll try again, and we'll get the stream shared around once it's off and running. This was a little bit late notice to myself. I found out 10 minutes ago, 14 minutes ago. It's happening near. I did have one that had to be rearranged due to time. Guys, 1 second. We've gone to a private session.
We're looking at Tuesday, right?
I'm just going to have to drop out an invite session because it's not letting me join on them. And I'm just going to make myself a little party so I can't be having game chat. But yeah, I'll be with you guys in chat in just 1 minute. Let me just get this set up and everything on the go. I can start pulling it up on my laptop. YouTube. It's just a nice quicker way into invite only. Hello everybody. Hello Al, Boat, Prestige and Jake Darby. I hope you're all going very well. I'm just trying to get Lord and Lulu into session. I've gone to spectate on Lord, but I think he went into a private session after I tried to spectate and I messed it all up. And it looks like it's going to show the world next to his name still like it did before. So yeah, we've got the friends list bug. So let me show online. I just asked him to invite me to his session. So I'll just keep my eye on that. And again, apologies. I'm not sure if there will be or not. I'm literally in a party on my own at the moment. I left the other one because I've been sat in there for 2.5 hours on my top. Everybody had jumped off. So it's... Or... Right. Okay, it's going into an invite session. He's going to invite us both. Lovely, lovely. So we should be good to go. Hello, Cammer. How you going, fella? I'm currently scared. That's not good prestige. Try and chill down a little bit. But Derby, I am doing very well. Thank you very much. My day Albo was splendid, really just nice and relaxed. Let me just check my invites. Not had anything just yet. And hello, Tyrese, my man. There we go, there's the invite. In fact, what I will do quickly is I'm going to jump into my group party and then a couple of people may join throughout. Good luck both from Tyrese, hello, Fox and everyone, from Kerry Morgan. How you going, fella? Well, getting the session details. Joining the match. But we've had a few new racers join pros, so if you do see them, do give them a friendly welcome into the community. If you don't recognise the names, that is Millau. And then we have Mike E. Lander and LJ. I believe it's LJ as well. I have to go with Lulu for this one. Hello, Fox, and let's go racers. Right, let's get ourselves on to Lord as soon as possible. There he is. Spectate the man. Right, I am good to go on the pair of you. Sorry for the slight delay, watchers. I'm just going to share it around and then we will now all be good to go. I just wanted to make sure everything was good before we started pulling everybody in. But thank you all very much for swinging by so early. No, and again, if anybody is new, please do head over, check out some of the races, the likes of Luke. We've got Prestige, he's putting out some fantastic little cut videos. We've got Tyrese, puts out good racing live streams. I'm not sure Kerry has. We've got Cyrod, always putting up top times. Jack went off to get some food and to watch some TV. And let me, like I say, just get this shared around and then I am fully invested in the action. I'm very well, thank you, Cyrod. I hope you're doing really well. As I hope everybody is, as always. It is a Sunday night. It's getting a little bit chilly as we get a little closer to winter. But the racing is still keeping us nice and warm. We are here tonight with Luluchum, who it has been confirmed is Razza will be put into the chats in just a little while, and we have LxrdLife. LxrdLife Lord. Lulu. There we go. Just because not everybody is 100% aware. Yeah, but I will get that corrected later. That Peer Race is on the way. I will pull up the message on my phone in a minute so I can tell you whose tracks are whose. I'm just 1 or 2 seconds delayed. LxrdLife with I'm nervous in a little chat. Lord, just settle into it. We know really now that I'm out, everybody in the competition is very high level, and then there's just a slight differing levels between that, and that then achieves the greater speed the higher up that level you get. But I don't believe there is a single bad racer in the competition. I included myself in there. I'm not a bad racer, just comparatively so. And they are about to be away. We've got a salmon pink accent on LxrdLife's car. The nerves maybe ever so slightly getting to Lord a touch more than he thought. Nice and safe over the curbs, just playing a little bit safe with the barriers for now. Tilts the car to get away with the boost, and it's a good clean start from both. Since the little slide, Lulu has pulled away. Lord though, good curbs, shortening the gap slightly, and they're about to enter the first tube. Lulu, just a nice safe tube entrance, landing on the blue, but a very wonky landing. He's back up to speed very quickly as we do swap over to Lulu, allow Lord a chance to just settle in. Did get very unlucky there. The car booked a little bit wildly. Ooh. There we go, I've just popped that in there, clicked on one of the wrong chats, got everything else on the go. Lulu hits the tube, and that is allowing Lord to really shorten the gap. About to come on past, takes the lead, takes that loop. Lulu just nice and smooth, just the side lower exits, pulls level and just retakes the lead. A little heavier on the brakes, sees him cleanly round the corner, whereas Lord just clips the gap, unfortunately so. Now, let me pull up these. I know this is a Lulu choice, but let me just pull up the track list, just so I know 100%. Nice and smooth onto the boost, no issue with that brick you can get. Peer Race, East Coast, Spoochie, and in the city, well, Lulu's. And then I'm just pulling up the other message, and then I can be fully into the action. Nicely onto the orange this time from Lulu, or rather LxrdLife. I picked Gauntlet, Racing Alley, City Air, and Raton. Nice clean loop skip to Spoochie. There we go. I know I've got it in the one message, I can see it. And I'm lovely. Apologies for that. Oh, unlucky Cyrod. You will get that 48 soon. I'm sure you'll be able to push even further. LxrdLife has kept decent pace behind. Lulu has extended track knowledge just as I throw. Bit of a compliment just goes underneath. Good luck Lulu and Lord from Sirod goes the opposite way this time, a little higher and safer. You can see the gap between the two. We are going to go apply some of that thick ass YouTube pressure on to LxrdLife's shoulders. On Mr. Z Andy Cash, as lots of you may know him, misses that barrier really nicely this time. No getting caught in the gap, and just before the boost, clipping over the curbs, a little extra wobble, trying to gain a little bit more, clips the pin, maybe looking to shorten or lengthen the gap. Comes over the curb, nice and smooth, again enters the tube just after the orange, making sure none of that issue with the bricking as we saw on that first lap. Nice and smooth line through, a little bit high but nice and clean exit over the curbs, again pulls far to the left into the loop and then out on the right side, just shortening the bumps through, shortening the effect of the rough impact through the loop. Car's base just a little bit too long, out of the tube, nice, just above, a little tap of the horn, safe entry into the tube. Now Lord really just need to play it nice and clean. Goes for the exit, comes around a little bit sharp, readjusts, pulls up high, but he is nice and safely out, is making it onto the track. Good readjustment though, saw he was going to go underneath. Oh, it's a good exit, but the front of the car just clips into the track, causing a slight slide. Corrected really well and bashes that barrier to get a little extra boosting effect. The best lap does go across at the moment to 151.711 from Lord. We'll just see Lord take a 1-0 lead. That is the first race all wrapped up. 5:48.387 with 1:51.711. Just a little bit too much on this occasion for Lulu to overcome. We did see Lulu getting a better time, a better lap time on a previous 1v1. My hands are fucking freezing. That's why you should always have a little rub before you play. No, Ryan, honestly, man, it's not, and it's like when your hands are cold, you don't feel like you've got the same reactions. You don't feel like you've not got the same reactions. But we are in to Gauntlet. This is one of Lord's picks. And hello, Tanser! Pink on Lulu's car. Lord in fame or shame rogue. Do a little bit of work with the hair, not gonna lie. I mean, barely looks like it's been brushed. Lulu, pigtails, and the guffy hat. Set off. Sounds like Lord got a little bit rough on that barrier. Nice wobble there from Lulu. pulling through the cut, nice and clean. Lord drifted nicely across the left, just getting that line nicely lined up, just feeling like he was a little bit too close to the barrier. Pulls a little wider around the pillar. Nice and smooth over the curbs though. But Lulu slightly extending the lead. Very aggressive over the curb. Nice on the braking point. Good onto the boost and gets all four wheels over that curb to re-establish that lead. Lord gets good a thick boost through the tube. Clips down nicely though. Lulu undercuts that marvellously. Pulls a strong advantage, regains the lead, and that was a lovely cut there. Lord is maybe going to have to push that a little bit harder, a second and third lap, but did have the good track speed, or good tube speed at least, to gain the advantage. Shows he can tie it together. But Lulu does appear to just be inching away through the boosts at that mid-point on the left. Trips up, round, goes in for the cut. Lord lines it up nice and smooth. Lulu has gone over to the left. Lord's out, nice and safe. We are going to spend a bit of time here with Lord. Got himself through the cut nicely, feathering the throttle. Got maybe just a touch slow, but will be saving good chunks of time to that standard exit into the tube nicely. No chance of the car acting up. Pulls that metal line back through, down and round. Again, could do to pull down just a little sharper on the right when he's exiting the tube there, just to get down to the track a little earlier. But that's just hypercritical. Picking up a couple of extra tenths, goes in for the cut nice and sharp, drifting across, plenty of space left to the edge of the track. Drifts across the curbs nice and clean. Good brake boosting, aggressive over the curbs, pulls again to the left nice and sharp, just drifting nicely towards that pink wall, allowing him to then just drift nice and straight between the gap. 256, sorry, 0.115. The 313 with the mistake out of that tube exit, showing a gap between the two to be just under a 20-second mark, or 17 seconds at this point. Through the corner set, nice and clean. Lord now does know, realistically, it's going to take some really big cuts from Lulu to close the gap in any significant way, and would be able to play it nice and clean, nice and safe. Pulls down, just nice and clean, gets a lovely, I don't know how to describe it, but it's a head over heels front flip, sideways angle, good flare over the curbs nicely again. But an exit like that will allow Lulu to maybe gain a second there, and then depending on the exit here, potentially 4 or 5 seconds through the tube and the exit, so it could be getting pretty close towards the back end. Doesn't look like Lulu's coming into the tube just behind, so the gap has shortened. It's a good exit, nice and clean, more central, gets the flare on the go, correcting the car nicely, gets the front left tyre touched down, and that drops the rest of the car on to the track. Psycho just completed 100% of the Under Bridges challenges in San Andreas. Congratulations, Psycho. Into the second. That final tube pulls down, much cleaner exit down to the track, nice and quick, maximising the chance of holding the lead. We'll let Lord cross the line, and then we will consider a little flip back. Lulu appeared just be a little bit stopped dead. 2:53.810 from Lord. Really very nice. We'll have a little flick back to Lulu. .252.660. She did shorten the gap by a second, but still a lot of work to do. Did get a nice clean lap, getting them hands nice and warmed up. In a way your gran probably wouldn't have told you would send you blind. Now through racing, not vigorous rubbing. Nice into the barrier, just to straighten the D8 up. Nice and aggressive. Feathers the throttle, nice and clean, and again, looked like was going to use the barrier just to straighten up the pulls away from it and across the curbs. Nice and clean. Good speed through the tube. You can see the back end of the D8 bumping all the way through the tube, pulls down. Nice. Takes good speed out, points the nose of the car down to get to the track as early as you can. Lines up to miss that gap in the barrier. Just the line nice and smooth to maximise the revs over the curbs. Again, just clips the apex a little bit rough, pulls away from that gap that's caused me so many nightmares. Up high, back down low, back up the tube wall, pulling up just after the boost, just a touch more to get the traction you need. Pulls through the loop nice and clean above that shadow line, just between halfway point, the metal line. Good, clean exit this time by the look of it, a little bit long, but just over to the left side of the ramp. Lovely stuff. Lovely backflip as well, points the nose down just to start the car's trajectory downwards. Comes through these yellow pillars nice and clean. Handbrake into the tube. The car disconnects as it taps the horn, lands in the tube nice and clean. Has to take relatively standard exit. Let's see if we see any improvement from Lord. Looks like he has waited up just to make sure, no chance of DNFing his opponent. As it makes the jump down nice and clean. Lord crossing the line, does take it to 2-0, 2:52.6. Stays the best lap. Luckily for Lulu, did just drift too far to the left on that second tube exit on the first lap and cost himself the lead. Just gonna plug my headset in real quick. The 9:650 was a little bit too much, but 2:52.660 was the best lap. We are heading in to the third race. Lord with a strong lead at the moment. Two races in, 2 races to his advantage, and we are on to In the City. Ryan, give them hands a little rub, lad. Fingers nice and warm. Just take a deep breath. Lord, I will be looking to apply pressure even more harshly. We'll be looking to push, extend the lead to 3. Lulu now knowing needs to win 5 of the next 6 to confirm their place through in the winners bracket. Lord with a good start. Lulu maybe just missed that starting boost, just pulled very aggressively across the curb. Lord a little bit rough into the tube. Big squiggle allows Lulu on to the boost. Nice, well, it didn't, his mistake didn't cause, the squiggle didn't allow Lulu, but it allowed Lulu the chance to capitalise on that error. Now, Lord hasn't had to respawn. I was just a little worried with the length of time it took to change over the rough entrance into the gap. There, we are going to stick with Lord just through this next section of track, over the jump and through the tube, and then we'll swap over after the tube transition and see where the lead is. Lord, nicely into the tube. You just saw him pull the crest of the jump just ever so slightly to the right. Took good speed through that tube. Nice line on the brakes. It is just pulling away nice and clean. Looks good into the tube ahead. Lord, smooth as well. Nice and high up on that wall. Nice and low through the transition. Lulu already going through the bend. You can see Lord sticking nice and low, just a touch lower. Seems to be where you get that thick boost, but it's good speed carried through. Lulu does appear to have ever so slightly extended, already halfway through the jump as Lord swings through the corner. Stands on the track. Lulu weaving across the curbs ahead. Lord catching the brake boost, nice and clean. The second one was just the squeal, not the tyre mark. It's good to see that the brake boosting is getting more and more widely used, helping people improve their PBs all throughout the community. Again, the brake boost, the double tyre coming off the back. See, 2:16.868 first lap from Lulu, 2:21.7. Getting a bit of a slide into the tube after the roof of the GTO and the spoiler just caught on top of on the roof of the tube. Lulu has been nice and clean through the transition, just a touch rough on the entry, but pulls over to the left side of the track, gets that little clip of the curb, pulls through the checkpoint, nice, just 2 tyres over the curb, making sure no chance of running wide of that checkpoint, as I'm sure all of us have at this point. Into the tube, nice and clean, pulls down to the left. Oh, I had to pull sharply back to the right just to make sure the car gained enough traction to pull itself across the track. Lovely into the tube, had to get tilting of the car right. Again, lovely transition up onto the right side wall of the tube, tilting the car so that back right tyre touches in first, slamming the rest of the car down afterwards, reducing any issues with bricking. Again, nice exit from Ryan in out of the tube through the corner, just that little feathering of the throttle on the entrance to swing himself round. as close to full speed as possible. At the moment, Luke, it is a 2-0, but Ryan does have, it's 2-0 LxrdLife that is, but Ryan, or Lulu, does have the lead here, and that has all been, as you saw in the chat, all sorted out, so I've not dropped anything in it. But yeah, Lulu with a good lead here, 2:16 to 2:21, just under 5 seconds between two, and good lap from Lulu sees them bring it down to 2:13.258. We will stick through this tube with Lulu. We'll swing back to Lord, see if we can catch the exit from himself too. It's a little bit safer this go round, but carries good speed through the exit. Taking a little while, but we do catch it just as it comes through the boost. It's a very similar exit there. The back of the car just taking a slight break. Could be the lag. Oh, just drifted, but maybe the car on the curb just lost a little bit of the traction. Now, I am going to swing back to Lulu. Apologies, Lord, if that in any way was to do with the slight loss of frames you can get occasionally on the transition. Lulu handles the tube nicely, was in the air as we transitioned, so potential drop in frames less of an issue. Again, tilts the car really nice into the tube, making sure the front nose of the front of the car does not come into contact with the tube in a rough manner. Just up to that midline, letting the car drift back down and back up slightly, pulls down and round. Bum chum written on the license plate. Bit of a Tokyo style drift round the corner. Backflip through the air. Extends it out towards the completion. Nice over the curbs. Getting a couple of brake boosts down the hill. Up just above that metal line. Maximising the speed he can carry through a tube exit, good and clean on the braking point, through and back onto the accelerator, knowing he doesn't need to push hard. We are going to pull back to Lord, allowing Lulu to see where Lord is. Coming round the final corner, that does allow Lulu to cross the line. Lord, oh, a little bit rough against the brick. Wow, if he'd have actually got pinned between there, that would have been exceptionally impressive. But gets himself out. That does bring it back to 2-1 in Lord's favour, but Ryan pulls one back. Hello. Hello, how you going? Nice. So simple. Back. Should have updated. There we go. I do know how to spell, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't a stunt racy event.
I can't stand the Emirates anymore. I really don't like it anymore.
No, if you were, if you were very fast in it, and then the change is, it's stiffer. Like some people, that it may be whose car it wasn't their favourite before. Like some of them prefer it, but I know people like Jack now really don't like the Emirates, and it was his baby before. He loved it. See, lovely line from the two. good aggression on the curbs from Lulu, just into loop. Good length on the jump. Again, just clipping nice and feathering throttle. Pulling across it to the right, just a touch more. Ooh, Lulu just extends it out. Is maybe going to maximise the exit speed slightly, just allowing it to pull away. Did have to feather the throttle over them curbs. Lovely high line on the tube. Oh, got good boost through the corner, putting just about level, but lovely brake boost from Lulu. Light, lied. Lord into the lead, and big amounts of water for Lulu. Or as a thing hung up terribly. Lord, nice and smooth through jump there. Now gonna pop back after the hairpin. Fine, maximising the revs.
Fucking lagging, man.
Is it the frames dropping?
He's lagging him.
Yeah. Slight connection, won't be the connection to California. Gap is closing. That was a lovely corner. You can see the speed up climbing to that top speed slightly quicker. Ever so slight slide around the corner. But slightly cleaner tube line. Again, closing the gap. Lovely brake boost, Lords. Travelling across to the right. Got very lucky there with the curve. You can see the left tyre is just bucking up as that right tyre clipped in. Much nicer on the landing this time. Lulu not having to play with the curbs. See the gap just closing in, able to carry more speed through the corners. Oh, it's a good landing. And the car through tube. Slide at the midpoint of corner. And corrected it really quick. Lots of water. Doesn't appear to have affected either though this time. More showing on my screen. And there's popping back to Lord, being to see the action from both. Lovely line into the corner there from Lulu, just drifting to the right over the jump and able to pull to the left into the corner, nice and smooth. Lag a little bit heavy on LxrdLife's car, stays nice and low in the corner, but the boost apparently a little bit greater. If you go a little bit higher, trying to match Lulu's lines there through the tube's back end. Big slide, maybe carrying a touch more speed than used to. Lulu a 201.705. Really good no cut lap. 204.260 is still very respectable time. Going over the curve, just clipping at the apex.
This car's making me feel sick.
Jake boy, if that's what you need to do, my man, it's really not a problem. And honestly, my dude, good luck with the military training, my man. Like, there's never any pressure from myself.
Yep.
So if you do, oh, Lulu,
I'm fucking fed up, man.
clips at the roof, the tube.
This fucking bag of shit.
goes on through. Oh, Lord, though, really unlucky. The water, he got a bit of a rough exit out of the tube, clipped a little bit roughly, then the water lifted the car up and he could not pull back onto the ramp cleanly and had to respawn. That has allowed Lulu that slight lifeline to hand the lead back after the clash with the tube entrance. Lord takes the loop through the mid-part of the tube. Lord swings in for the wall ride. Comes out of it nice and clean.
Lulu. He was lagging then, I thought he fell off, that's why I slowed down.
Yeah, it looked like he almost stopped initially when he entered it, but then he pulled round it really cleanly. But yeah, Jake, like I say, there's never any pressure on you, and with your off to military training, my dude, you go. I wish you the best of luck with it, my man. And you know that when you fancy coming racing, when you've got a bit of time, you can jump on with one or a few of us. I'm sure there'll always be somebody about.
I do feel bad for what happened to him, but I just went and watched it. He was a bit at a bad angle when he came out.
Yeah, it wasn't a brick, it was just a dodgy. It was like, I've done it plenty of times. It's like the way you want to take it on wall climb to get the tyres to buck up, but you don't want to come out of it there because the water in the ramp. You don't want to get yourself an extra curb boosting effect off the tube. But, yeah. No. But Lulu, or rather, did maybe deserve that touch of luck. So Lord had handled the pressure, was sat just behind, able to capitalise on that mistake, but then that mistake repaid in kind did allow, rather, to retain the lead and to pull it back at the halfway point to 2-all. This is one of Lord's tracks. Nice. Over the jump. Up the hill. Heavy on the brakes as it comes to the crest. You can see both matched. Lovely. Lord just pulling away ever so slightly, maybe having cut the air time just a touch more. With good speed. Closes the gap a little bit. Of a sharp pull down off the tube wall from Lord. Through the exit, you can see Lord lined up for the safer approach. Ryan goes up the side looking just to take the air length out. It's nice and clean. Lord though, he must have done some heavy braking, got himself down to track quite early. Just pulling away ever so slightly, gained a slight advantage, even though it did really look like he took a close to standard line through the exit. Maximising chances of it as I tilted my head to the left there for the corner, fully engrossed in it. Right over the bump, you can see the gap does appear to be closing. Nice over the curbs, rather Again, just clips at that top right corner of the boost, maximising the amount of revs. Grabs off the curbs, again nice and smooth, drifting down, points the nose down, smooth over the curbs, to the right, through. Now you can see the gap has shortened. You see lap time 2:19 to 21.92, just 2 seconds between the two of them. Nice and smooth up the hill on the brakes again. That looked nice and clean there from Lulu. Very little air time. Nice and smooth over the curbs. Gap again, to my eye, does appear to have shrunk ever so slightly. Good and clean below. Camera hugging tight the back of the Emirates through the loop. Heavy on the brakes this time. Lord. Is he going the opposite way? What? That isn't. What? I've got. It just looked so low. It looked like he was barely going to clear it because he didn't. I'm just going to have to watch what he does. Does gain good time with the exit again. It was good and low, carried good speed for the curbs, rubbing across them nice and aggressive like. See the gap about the length of the loop. Nice and safe over the curbs, clipping that last little apex, making sure he's got good high revs as he gets down to the bottom of the hill. Through the corner, feathering the throttle ever so slightly just to line up for the jump. Nice and clean. Dipping of the engine note as it changes gear to 18.97678. New best lap from Lulu, but to 17.071 from Lord is the best lap at the moment. Now I do want to see what this exit looks like from Lord. And hello, my man Clem. Hope you're doing really well, fella. Over the jump, through the tube, nice and clean. It'll feather it off the throttle on the entry point into the tube, clean. Loops through the first part. Lines up, nice and straight. He's just done the standard exit. Lulu flies out, pips the lead, and has a strong advantage here. Fantastic stuff from Lulu, and these two have played a blinder, so the commentator catches none of the action. Into the tube. That was a lovely tube entrance there from Lord. It will be shortening gap ever so slightly. But Lord, not going to be happy that he didn't give it a risk on this occasion and had no response. Lulu, or Ryan, knowing that Lord, having the lead already, knew big risk was either big payout or I'm still in second place anyway. Lord just clips that little clip of the barrier. Hello Fox, Kerry Morgan was my mum, and also how are you doing my man? I'm doing very well, and say hello to your mum for me. That sounds a bit weird. as Lulu does appear and has just crossed the line in first, a 2:14.330 as Lord slammed himself into the wall, I believe, just a touch out of frustration there, just as he crossed the line, wishing and ruining the fact that he didn't go for that exit. Lulu got it so clean on that final lap, flew out of it like a cannon, taking the lead, and they both played me for a blinder. I missed both of LxrdLife's tube exits. I believe he did both of them differently, and then on the third lap he did the standard line, heavy braking, but that did allow Lulu just to rock it through. That does see Lulu with the 3-2 lead, having brought it back from 2-0 down. And a go Lulu from Leighton.
It's the only time I'll do that tube exit. As if it's the only choice.
Yeah, when you're, because it's high risk, it is high risk, but if you're in that situation where you're behind, they're clearly going to hit the track before you and have been like reasonable speed to you, so you're not going to catch up anyway. Like, there's no risk then. Like, yeah. It's all payoff if it works. A lovely first hairpin note from Raza does see him take a commanding lead from a pole through this 270 degree corner. Nice. Let's see, Lulu just clipping some of them curbs, nice and aggressive. Lord with that little extra curb up that short hill. Lovely feathering of the throttle, still a tiny slight slide on the reapplication of the power. Clips that checkpoint really tight and close to missing it. You can see high res. I don't think we ever quite heard top revs there from the Emirates. Go a little bit more aggressively over them curbs. About to hit the engine burst life, and there we go, fully up to speed we are, as Lord accidentally corrects the car the wrong way, causing it to spin and then get its traction to pull him back off the track. We do go to Lulu into the corner, nice and tidy through into the corner set, good and clean. But yeah, if anybody is watching and isn't in the tournament already, as you can see slightly above in the chat, Jake Boy has had to pull out. He is in the losers bracket, but you would know that your opponent would be F Madrid should you choose to step in, and there is still until Sunday next week to complete that match should you choose to. There are no reserves left at this point, and I will look for a replacement over the next couple of days, but should nothing be found by Tuesday or Wednesday, I will have to hand that match to Madrid, and that then would be Tyrese's. Luke's in the competition. Smooth application of the power through the corner. Oh, yeah, Luke's already in. Nice, over the curbs. Through that little corner set again, giving high res, little, look like the brake boost on that little bump through the hairpin. Over the curbs, nice and clean. It just pulls around nice and sharply, making sure no issue with missing that checkpoint as the engine really bursts into life. There we go. It just took a little longer. Keeps nice high engine nose through the corner, little dip, feathering of throttle. Yeah, how did it go? And is it like every other weekend you're doing? Because you say that you've got race events a lot of weekends through the year, but I know like not even F1 drivers in general race every weekend and stuff. They get a weekend or two off. Very nice stuff, Leighton. Second out of 30. Good brake boosting down the straight there from Lulu as well. Over the bump into the hairpin, nice and smooth. See, the gap is quite large at the moment. I believe Lord just heading down that straight perpendicular to Lulu, heading through the hairpin as Ryan comes through this 270-degree corner. It's nice and clean. Had to start at the back for every heat. Right. So is it like reverse grids or something at the level you're at, Drix? I know in youth racing it's going to be a bit different to full-on racing because they'll want the best racers to have to work their way through the pack and to gain overtaking experience and such. So they're learning all them skills nice and early. Lovely through the corner into the chicane, over the curbs, nice and smooth. Just nice clean lines. We've seen a 209.251 and it's just looked so clean and smooth. I pushed so hard, my car's kicking out through some of the corners. It feels like it's hitting the very limit and I am only hitting a 210 on PS. Very nice. First heat 30th to 7th, second heat 30th to 10th. Really good stuff. Through final loop, through the tube as we flick back to Lord. Oops, shouldn't be doing that, Drip. Feather the throttle, control your slipstream. Nice line through the tube from Lord does allow Lulu to close the race. That does take it to 4-2. Sounds just like GTA, that does, Leighton. Everybody is too aggressive. That does sound like a GTA contact race to me. 209.251 is the best lap. A very nice 211 though as well. Like I say, really anything under that 220 is a good time, and then anything closer and closer you get to that record until you set it, you're just getting into that top percentile until you become it. Little release of gas from Lulu. And we are into Canyon Crossing. Nice, might going into F4 when I'm 14. Be a big step up. Make sure you're good and ready for it. Be nice and prepared. Sorry. But yeah, if you're free next weekend, Leighton will try and arrange at some point this week for Saturday or Sunday evening for your 1v1. Otherwise, one of the nights this evening, we'll see if Leo can do it. He might have a day off during the week and such.
Oh,
Lord,
bollocks.
with the cut. Lulu looked like undercut it, got the early respawn off. Lord got that cut nice and clean, takes the lead.
Why did I do it? It doesn't even save that much fucking time.
Maybe able now to play it safe. We'll be able to bring it back to 3, 4. Yeah, no worries. I'll send you guys a little message on like tomorrow night or Tuesday, and then we'll have a little chat then. Crossing. Let me have a look at the list. Tyrese and Racing Alley will be the last pick, Ty. If I get into F1, I'll give half my money to Ty. I'm sure he'll happily take half the money. Whoa, risky tube entrance there. Handled it nicely, was nice and straight into it, so no risk going into the tube too roughly in the cart, kicking out. You can see just lines up. Looked like he was trying to take off the top corner of the jump, but just takes the jump with a bit of feathering on the throttle. And it sounds like and looks like Ty likes the sound of potentially getting half the cut from an F1 payout. Hey, Drip, mate, you get yourself into F1, see if you can give me a leg up with Bernie, or whoever owns it at the time, and we'll see what we can do.
I'm going to record that because that's never fucking happened to me, ever.
What was that?
My car just bounced over a curb and spun me out before the start.
Oh. Through the corner, set nice and clean, missing that barrier with a lot of space. Over the curbs, tidy as you like. Pulls through the jump, sticks to the tube wall with no issue. Sounds like Raz's.
I just can't do this track and that. Yeah, there is no.
One of my trickiest tracks. Yeah, that's Razza in the background. Ooh, big clash with the spinner. At this point, we'll pop back, have a little look at Razza. Tyrese saying Razza has retired. He a FIFA player. Lovely smooth loop. Navigates his way through the spinner prop, nice and tidy. Lovely tube exit. You can see Lord having just gone through the hairpin, about to enter that tube ahead. Nice. Whoa, right. I was about to say, but the Krieger behaves the way it can. Just kicked out on landing. And with that, we will pop back across to Lord, again applying some of that thick-ass YouTube commentary pressure onto him. Nice and aggressive across the curbs, feathers the throttle really cleanly through the corner. Again, we did recently see that upload from Kryptonite. Can't quite remember the exact numbers. Very, very clean time, 1:48.9, I believe it was, in a D8. That is over on Kryptonite's channel. He takes them corners exceptionally clean. Nice and smooth over the curbs. Into the tube. Good and clean. See, I'd also been pushing nice and hard with the PBs, streaming very regularly.
Oh, I'm fucking everything up, man. Car's too fast for the track in certain areas.
But it seems to be the problem with a lot of the new cars, that they're just not made for the tracks. The way the tracks were made for the cars initially when they were released. Again, into the tube, it looks nice and smooth. Back wheel brushing into how about 10 for you, Drip, and then 5 each for me and Ty? We wouldn't complain at that. He doesn't need 10. I'll take 5 mil if it's on offer, you know, if it's on the table, I'm not going to say no. But you take the majority. Lord has just crossed the line. I was just about to flick over to Lulu, but Lulu crosses too. Ty with go-kart racing is sick. I do enjoy it. I used to enjoy it a lot when I was growing up. Just do a little bit of it myself. Not competitively, more with friends. Like the odd little weekend league. 151.318, 156.773. Lord is showing there that consistency can pay off.
That's going to start an issue.
Yeah, I've said to you before, Drip. No more trolling. It's my only rule.
Wait, I swear this guy chose Racing Alley.
Yeah, I thought he did. It's on my list.
He chose Racing Alley.
In the city, Vespucci, Pier Race, East Coast from yourself, Gauntlet, Racing Alley, City Air and Raton. What tracks he cut out?
We've done all mine.
What tracks he put in instead of...
Wait, what were his for?
His tracks are Gauntlet, Racing Alley, City Air and Raton. We've not done Racing Alley. What did we do instead? City Air was supposed to be here, but a little bit rough against the wall as Lulu had gone into the tyre wall, but Lord's pulled a little bit of a fast one on us. Unless, no, we're on the last track out of 8. Gonna correct it in the air, pulls the car around, takes a touch more air time, but that was very well corrected. Couldn't have got that much cleaner after the slight clip on the roof. Smooth into the corner. Brushes at the curb at the peak.
Raton, Gauntlet, City Air.
Canyon Crossing.
Canyon. He's put Canyon in instead of
Racing Alley.
Us. Racing Alley.
Yeah. No, we can have a little word with him about that if it goes to a tie. And you can do Racing Alley instead. Because they're the tracks that are listed there. Lovely low exit there from Lulu. Lord, no, nice and fast. God, does appear to just shortened up, clips through on the right side, shortening the stop strip effect as much as possible. Lord had listed the tracks as Gauntlet, Racing Alley, City Air and Raton. Ryan's picks were In the City, Pier Race, East Coast and Vespucci. We've had all of Ryan's clean and correct, but Racing Alley appears to have been swapped out without any notification for Canyon Crossing. It does appear as though LxrdLife had some issues that I just missed having a quick look at the chat. Pulls on through, a little slam against the wall, but Moore used it to straighten the car up. Clayton's using a Rotax X30. Good X. So Lords just carried a little bit more distance on the jump. It's allowing Lulu the chance to extend at the moment. But should we not need anything further, then I will just be having a little word with Lord about no last minute swaps without letting his opponent know at the very least. Right, there are no strict rules on that as soon as you've announced your tracks that you definitely have to stick to them, but at the point you have sent your tracks to your opponent, it should really need a slight agreement from them just to give you the go ahead to have a little swap out.
Yeah, because people might be practicing them before.
That's it. Like, I would have practiced had I been up against, you know, not Randos and Nacho. Oh Lord, did get nice and close to the edge of the track there though, really showing why he did pick this track. It's just the Racing Alley one that is missing. Like he was going to tilt into the cut, chose to avoid it on this occasion, seeing Lulu go clean too. Ooh, big brick and squiggle there from Lulu does allow Lulu, or Lord, into the lead, has to feather the throttle harder on the exit. Now, occasionally when you see Lord's car jerk a little bit sharper, that will be a touch of the lag, just when it seems to float in the air a little bit more. Anyone a track called PFI? I don't know. And yeah, I do think that would be a relatively good addition, just to give us little go-karts, highly customisable. Be a lot of fun, good slick tyres and that sort of stuff. See, the gap has closed up since the brick is reining the gap in. They both burst through the stop strips, nice and clean, extra clips of the curb from both. I'll just straightens the car out for the hairpin, feathering the throttle nicely. Gap really did close up a little chunk there, though Lord seems to get a little bit an extra kick from somewhere. Didn't quite see where that acceleration came from. A nice lower, flatter jump from Lulu. Oh, putting it really close to the edge. With them stop strips, I know it can push you out to the right when you go a little bit too aggressively with it. Nice smooth tube line. Lord does go into it. Clip of the ramp from
fucking idiot.
Lulu. To see Lord take the lead, and with it being the final portion of the race, that is going to see. Well, I don't quite know what to say. Is I personally, with the tracks having been announced, and that it's maybe 4-3 at this point with Racing Alley to be done. I don't know.
As well.
Like, I'm going to put the message in chat now. What happened? Racing Alley. We had dead. There we go. GG's guys, but what happened to Racing Alley? They had Canyon instead.
I think this needs to be settled on around the docks, if you ask me.
Oh my god, stop putting the capital letter. Right then. He's saying that he told you Canyon on his Razer account. He had that attached to his mobile phone.
I don't have notifications on that.
And if he did it just before the event, might be a touch late, but if that is the case, if there was like a half an hour or so, we can do a penalty shootout, which would be 3 tracks, Ryan, which would be a track choice each, and then there'd be a randomly assigned track from the random track, well, the generator that I'll run the tracks through. So if you want to have a little look at your message on your phone.
Racing Alley as a tiebreaker, fucking.
Yeah.
4-4.
Okay. Are you sure? So just
because I've just went in the messages. He did say Canyon, but I didn't even notice it.
Yeah. Okay. Right, Lord. Is that?
I just thought his truck was Racing Alley.
Let's do Racing. Yeah, he's good with that as well. Then. So if you want to send the invite to Racing Alley, I'll pop it. If you just let me know when you've got it open, or send me an invite to your invite session just so I can spectate you, Lord. He'll drop you back into your invite session. Yeah, we do normally do the penalty shootout as 3 tracks, but if both are agreeing to do it on a track shootout, I do let them have a bit more flexibility. And yeah, that is the reason why Raz's been on this account, is because he's not had the cars yet since the reset we all suffered with in our group, or most of us. And we will crack on in. have a little look. No invite just yet. Am I in invite session on public? Can I see LxrdLife well enough to just spectate on him? Yeah, I'll just need an invite to your session, Lord. And hello, Bala, my dude. I hope you're going well. These messages were all good.
China owns 10% of the national debt, and that number is climbing.
My host.
They've taken your manufacturing jobs.
Oh, are you hosting?
No, he invited me, but he's left.
Okay. I think it's because he realised he needs to actually invite me to the session so I can spectate. And he's got his eyes on the stream. Yeah, it's a tiebreaker, Luke. It went 4-4. Thank you very much, Lord. It did end up 4-4, as there had been a slight miscommunication with Raza coming over to Lulu's account for the cars and stuff, but he missed the message from Lord saying about Canyon Crossing. So we are going to be using Racing Alley as a one-track tiebreaker. I haven't seen the likes of it before myself. We do normally do the 3-track penalty shootout, track choice each, and then randomly assigned.
Is that what you usually do?
Yeah.
Do that if you want.
I completely leave it up to you. That I said it, and then you guys said Racing Alley.
I always thought it was a one-track. I don't mind, I'll do either. But to be honest, I can't be asked to do 3 trucks, fucking.
That's the man. So you can hear Ryan, he was like a little bit like, oh, 3 tracks? Actually, yeah, I can't be bothered with 3. So preferring the 1-track shootout option on this occasion. Not had that invite just yet, but Lord will just be dropping into the session and such, so we'll just take a second.
How many people are left in this tournament?
Everybody bar me at the moment. I'm the only one totally out.
There's the losers bracket.
Yeah, it's now from as stuff starts moving forward in the losers bracket, we start losing a few people.
So if I lose, what happens?
You will fall if you lose. You fall into the losers bracket, and you still have the chance. No, I can't race with you, Lord. You need to invite me to the session before.
Are you able to spectate from here, or if we go stake?
If it's not private. No, it is a private session. I can't spectate. Yeah, he gets it now. Hey, pro gamer, my man. Hope you're doing really well. And yeah, all that stuff with Dunya, my man, that wasn't bothering me at all. I've just come across him and a couple of others like Jurisprudent, and he's made videos on me calling me a modder and a cheat. Like, we're just better than them. There we go, we've got proper invite this time. Do you know why do we get 5 mil? I'm interested. What have I done to achieve such riches?
It's not about built different. Ty's built like a fucking Twiglet.
Yeah, he's told me I'm a noob and that I can't race, even though I've beat him in the 3 or 4 races he did have with me pro, and then he's left every single lobby he's not the host of, or he kicks me if he is the host. Like, that's as much damage as he does. Like, he reports us maybe, but like, they can have a look and it doesn't do us any harm because we've not got mod menus.
Feel like a peanut, you are a peanut, so. Pistachio head.
That's good to hear that you're doing well, Bala. Always good to hear the audience is doing well. But yeah, anybody that is interested, Pro Gamer does race on PC, streams over on Twitch. He might not be streaming right at this moment, but it would be a good Twitch channel to head over and check out for some additional racing GTA content. And yeah, I know his level keeps growing by at least 100 every time I see him. We are now into Racing Alley. This is the penalty shootout. We have one track, one shot, one opportunity. To quote the Lord Eminem. There we go, Pro Gamer. Thank you very much. Pro Gamer 13KXX at Twitch. Like I say, if you are on Twitch and have any additional time for more content, do head over. He has raced with a few members of our side of the community on PS4 in the past. Does know Jack, and he will know a few others.
3 day ban's a bit harsh in its high. 3 match ban.
Yeah. 3 day ban's pretty short, really. Oh yeah, in pro clubs that'll be like 30 games. Lovely.
And I'm off to a race.
Skip by Lord, so gain good time there, and the slide from Raza did unfortunately compound the issue. We are going to go apply some of this thick-ass pressure to Lord. It was his track choice, so he's got maybe a slight advantage here, so he can maybe bear the weight of this pressure. Comes through the corner nice and cleanly. We do see the gap appears to have shortened. Raza clearly got some really good boosts. Oh, has to pull down sharp to avoid missing pole. We see Lulu there just coming through the air, a lower transition off the peak of the ramp. No, LxrdLife is LxrdLife, and then Luluchum is Raza LD. Raza LD is Luluchum on this occasion. Pro, so the person just behind us at this point, Lord goes through the stop strips. We see Lulu flying through the air. I would try and twist the camera. Nice, smooth ramp though from Lord. Just sees lead regained. So I don't know. You gained some time, but that if you get that really clean, that's quicker, isn't it? Going down the ramp. Lord, don't.
You've already got the lead, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if you already got the lead, you might as well do it.
Knows the Viper 2. I know a couple of people know a Viper very well, or one in particular in official. And Ventura 2. Lovely on the breaking point by Raza. Clips the curb really cleanly. feathering the throttle as the car just tries to add that little but it can do between gear changes and comes up for the ramp cut. Pulls up really nice, just clearing edge of the track there. Lovely, like, comes over the curbs, pulls back across, goes through the stop strips, knowing it doesn't need to take huge big risks. Don't know me as a player and YouTuber. No, he's Viper isn't part of the community anymore. He's doing his own thing and it's going quite well for him. To give the lad his props, puts in hard work and has a lot of videos from what I hear lined up, ready to go. Nice tilting of the car to make sure the car got the good traction. Little dab of the brakes into the corner and Azzy boy with Go Lulu Go. And the Azzy bots ringing through chat. And Drip, if they're bots, you're a bot. And if you're a bot, I'm a bot. And if I'm a bot, all the randoms are definitely bots. Through the corner set nicely after missing the checkpoint. The lead was great enough. And it looks as though Lord had to respawn after the wall ride. And Pro, maybe we will get to see you again, potentially on PS5. You never know what emulators may become available. As PS5 comes out, they may get the emulation technology for PS4 onto PC, and then you'd be able to just come play with us and we'd get you into the party chats and such. Rather does finish. It is going to apply the pressure to Lord to get this cut nice and clean. Comes off a good point. Double barrel roll. Feathers the throttle. Appears to be taking the DNF while giving himself just enough time.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to do that.
No, he had plenty of time. He feathered the throttle just to push it to the limit. But huge GGs, and Ryan, well handled with the late change that you missed and then I clearly missed. With it being a message between the two of you, I didn't see the track choice, so I fully took your side in that, going, well, if we didn't know there was a track choice, track change, then it's 4-3 still, and we do that track. But Lord, you were fully in the right, and dude, man, like, Lord, he got lucky, came back to 4-2, but no, like a fantastic race. You applied some early pressure, took advantage of the slight rust. Like Razet has been in the top category for a very long time, and you've applied some good pressure to him. Like, honestly, my dude, as much as you fall into the losers bracket, you're going to be a good challenge for anybody coming into it and falling through into it, my man. Don't let it affect you too badly. Rather, you will be going on through. Let's have a little look at who you both potentially face. Lulu, you will be up against Biz or Zombie. This goes 5-4. Submit that one. Sirod will be against Kryptonite or Tony. That match has had to be rearranged. Tony was unable to get home in time. LxrdLife, your opponent will be Ciccolini or 68 Cent. So they are not in for a particularly easy route then through to the final. But I would like to thank both LxrdLife and Ryan for allowing me to commentate on this. and apologies that it was a little bit late me paying attention to when the match was. But we got it done. It's been brought to you, Lulu, as I say, or rather, as it is now out. You do progress through. Congratulations, Lord. On this occasion, commiserations do go to yourself, but the final is the final. It isn't a loser's final. The final is the final. Like I say, the final from the loser's bracket does lead all the way through to the main final. It is a 2-life competition. We still have Fruxtane versus Azzyboy, Drip versus Leo Geo. Jake has had to pull out, so potentially looking for a replacement, or we will be seeing Tyrese versus F Madrid in the next round. We've got Unholy v Nacho in the next round, Lord versus 68 Cent in the next round. So Ciccolini or 68 Cent, sorry, they still to come up. We also have in the winners bracket, we have Luke versus Joe Tracy, Max Wine and Weed versus Kino, Trilsy versus Randos, Kryptonite versus Tony, and Biz versus Zombie. I know that is due to happen at 8:30 tomorrow, Biz versus Zombie. We've got Trilsy versus Randos on Wednesday, and Max Wine and Weed and Kino on Tuesday. And yes, my man.
Pro Gamer 13k says Fox introduced me to Razza. I don't know who he is. I don't recognise.
Okay, right. Pro Gamer is a racer on PC. He has raced with Jack before. I thought he said that so he's come across your videos and stuff before. But yeah, I know Pro on PC. He is a very good racer himself, so just a slight introduction. Hopefully at some point we'll either meet him as more of us transition over to PC, or if he comes across to PlayStation, he would become a valuable member of our community. There, that is done. Razza, meet Pro Gamer, and Pro Gamer, meet your man Razza. Razza was slightly disguised as a very pretty-eyed young lady. But yeah, without anything else going on at the moment, let's have a little bit of a look through. Jack's just been watching in the background. He's been watching a bit of TV. And why Stream Elements? Have you just timed him out again? And hello, my man, Stars. Hope you're doing really well. And with this though, the stream was just coming to an end. So that timeout again, Balor, I am sorry, but it will. The 300 seconds, there'll be more than enough time for you to comment again tomorrow. And Stars, no worries, you know it's always a nice and flexible thing. You pop in as and when you can, never any pressure, but I hope you're enjoying your food, and I hope you guys all enjoy the rest of your days, evenings, nights, mornings, whatever it is, wherever it is you are. And thank you all so much. Thank you so much to LxrdLife and Razza for allowing me to commentate. Thank you to all the racers for participating in this double elimination tournament. And that will be all from me. Thank you all very much, and good boy! Taking ages for it to load.